Well, well, well. If it isn't another big creator not from the Booktok community making a video bashing the Booktok community for views. I'd love to say that I was shocked. I will say I did think we would get at least 10% into the year and maybe halfway through the first month of the year before seeing a video like this. But hey, I guess they wanted to start early, so I will too. As many of you are aware, and as some of you might not be aware, Call Me Chris, who is a big TikTok creator on here with millions of followers, decided to make a 30-minute long YouTube video bashing romance readers and anybody who reads smut or spicy books or romance books in general. In this 30-minute long trash video, she not only makes a ton of tasteless, not factual, disgusting, disrespectful, and misogynistic comments, she also had the nerve to use multiple videos from Booktok creators making reviews of these books to highlight them and making fun of them for liking and reviewing and promoting said books. Several of the Booktok creators that she featured in that video are my mutuals, one of which, Mads, is not only my mutual and friend, but is an author who is also talking about her own book. And Chris has millions of followers. So for her to make this video and also feature them and feature this entire topic is extremely harmful, not only just to them as authors, but to the community as a whole. And we're going to get into it. It took me several days to actually take the time to step back before even making this video. I also recently lost my dog and was not in a good headspace. And initially, I wasn't even going to watch her YouTube video because she's changed the title now at least 9 times, and she's also edited the video down, and then she took it down. But originally when it came out, I believe the first title was Booktok books are so gross. And I was like, you know what? I already know where this is going, and I don't want to watch it. But then, given that I've talked on these topics so many times, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And it was even worse than what I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be bad, right? But it was even worse than I thought it was going to be, which, it is very clear that Chris is not a part of this community and has not read any of the books or any of the things that she's even talked about in her video. And that was very clear by just from the statements that she's making. Throughout this video, she makes comments basically telling us that what we're reading is gross, that we're disgusting, that we literally need to take time to go outside and touch grass, that we need to seek therapy for reading these kinds of books. She makes a whole bunch of misogynistic statements. Additionally, she also makes inaccurate statements in saying that some of these books are pandering to children because they have cartoon or illustrated cartoonish covers, which is also completely not factual at all. If you would have done 2 seconds of research, that's all it takes. You would have seen that illustrated covers of books like this have been around for years upon years upon years. These books are also in bookstores in the adult section. Okay, they're not advertised for children. They are literally listed as adult novels. The ratings are on them. The trigger warnings are in them. They're not for children whatsoever. And just because a book has an illustrated cover and has literally illustrated adults on the cover does not mean that it's a children's book or pandering towards children, okay? That's like saying a book that has a dragon on it is automatically a children's book. He also goes on to basically make it sound like these books are nothing except like an intimate scene from cover to cover, which is also completely false. And this narrative, when we say smutty books, okay, we're likely talking about a book that's a romance book for adults that has spice throughout it, right? That's what a smutty book is, okay? These books are no different than movies or TV shows that you are watching every day, okay? It's telling a story of how couples first initially get together from the beginning of their relationship to the end, or it's throughout a series of books. And because there is plot, throughout the plot, there are intimate scenes. But because they're adult books, we don't have that fade to black shit. It is described, right? It's no different than you watching it on a TV show, on HBO, on Netflix, on any other show that's like TVMA or rated R or TV 17, however it's rated. It's the same exact thing. But because it's these smutty books, Chris's video basically makes it sound like we're doing nothing but promoting corn and how it's extremely harmful and so on and so forth. And she makes a whole bunch of just completely false statements, which, given again her following and the platform that she has, it is extremely damaging to the romance community, to the readers, and to the authors who are writing these books, because it shows that you literally have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You have not taken the time to read these books, because if you did, you would know what what they were about. And honestly, all the books that she has featured behind her, I'm convinced she's never read, and they're literally just props. Also, for her to have the audacity to say that people who read these books need to seek therapy is absolutely disgusting, considering that these books have been extremely healing for many people, myself included, who has suffered from essay trauma, physical abuse, domestic violence. I have a huge amount of trauma in my past, and these books have helped me heal in so many ways. I've had a stalker, and given even what I do as a dispatcher, these books help me so much. So, and no person's experience is the same. I come from trauma, and something that I find is healing for my essay might be extremely triggering for somebody else with essay, which is why it's extremely important for you to read trigger warnings and understand the book before you go into it. Now, it's also fine if you don't like a book. You're allowed to make a video, go in there, hold up the book without tagging the author, and say, hey, I didn't like this book for this reason, right? You're entitled to have your opinion about said book if you've actually read it, or you can say I DNF'd it for these reasons, or I didn't read it because of this, right? That's completely fine when you're respectful. That's not what Chris did. Chris took several hours out of her day to target and attack an entire community for what they read, when literally all we are doing is reading books. If you don't like the books that we read and recommend, you don't have to read them. You literally don't even have to buy them, pick them up, nothing. If it's not your cup of tea, don't drink it, okay? We're not forcing it upon you. So the fact that you felt the need, even though it's very clear you haven't even read these books, to sit down and make a video bashing all of us for liking said books is very telling, all right? It shows that you literally have no idea what you're talking about. You're just looking for rage bait and content, and you're completely uneducated in this entire section. For you to also have in the past claimed that you are a girl's girl, you have just proven that you are the furthest thing from a girl's girl in one singular video. Now, as of today, the video has been taken down and she's made several statements since then. But initially, when the video first came out, it had the title, I think it was like Booktok Books Are Gross. And then she started editing it as she was getting called out and changed the title of this video 10 times. And she claims that this was satire and comedy, but even the first 7 titles that she used were the furthest thing from comedic. It was doing nothing but Booktok Books Are Gross. The Booktok group's girl is like disgusting. She said all of this stuff, making extremely harmful statements towards the community and towards these books in general. So also, last I checked, comedy's supposed to be funny. Satire is supposed to be like funny. This was not funny at all. If you did this bit as stand-up, there would be crickets. Nothing about this video is funny, and trying to claim so is absolutely ridiculous. She then decides to make a statement in an apology video, making statements like, well, I'm so sorry that I offended you. This was meant to be satire. This is my opinion. But while saying that, simultaneously being in the comments, liking all of the harmful statements towards Booktok and all the comments basically saying really bad and gross things about the community, she's in there liking them, which shows you're not sorry. You're sorry that you got called out. Now let's get into Grammarly. The fact that this video was sponsored for an ad for Grammarly, which is quite literally made entirely for this community, is mind-blowing. And the lack of a statement, accountability, or an apology from Grammarly, even to this day, is so telling. I will never be using this company, and this was such a slap in the face to this entire community that has supported this company for years. And they had to have known, there's no way you can convince me otherwise, that they did not know what this video was going to be about or saw it beforehand and still thought that that was a good idea to sponsor a video, quite literally bashing an entire community that makes up your company. If you watch movies like Pretty Woman or TV shows like The Witcher or Game of Thrones, but then come for the Booktok community for the books we read, you're a hypocrite. No one is forcing you to read these books. If you do not like them, you quite literally do not need to read them. It is that simple. But if you decide you want to make a completely disgusting and tasteless video filled with misinformation that's extremely harmful towards said community, you better be prepared for the amount of backlash that you're going to get. And you also better make a sincere apology, because otherwise it just makes you look completely fake and disingenuous, which is exactly what happened. Very clear that this video is meant to be harmful and rage bait. I just don't think they were prepared for the amount of rage that they were going to get back. And it's very clear that this person is not a part of the Booktok community and knows nothing about the community. So guess what? You're not welcome here. You can't sit with us. It's that simple. To all the creators and authors featured in that video and people who were harmed by it, I'm so sorry she did that to you, and I'm sending you my love.